Okay, YouTube, it's been a minute. Today's video, I will be going over why I am taking a step away from triathlon and pursuing gravel cycling. I'll go into all the reasons why, what led to the decision, and just sort of what I've experienced so far in the, month or so that I have started pursuing this. So first, why am I not doing triathlon anymore? So this summer for me, triathlon-wise, I'd say went pretty well. I'll start there. Won the overall age group at a 70.3 duathlon. No, not going to not mention that, but it was just a bike run time trial. But I did win. It was a really cool experience. And I mean, if you ask me in that moment, was I feeling like I could go professional in triathlon? Yes, absolutely. The way the pro card system works, one way to get it is to get two scores of above like 110 on the USAT rating scale when they speed rate, or in high school cross country runners know what I'm talking about. I talk about speed ratings, but it's kind of like speed ratings for triathlon. I got like a 112 or a 113 at Western Mass without a swim, but it's still rated the same. Like it doesn't weigh different because there's no swim. But so I just needed one more result similar to that level of that I just did in Western Mass. Needed one more of those. Signed up for 70.3 Maine, which was I think in August or July maybe. But ended up getting some tendonitis in my knee training for that, and decided to not race. Pulled out. No big deal. I can get these points in other races. Maybe not even this year. It doesn't have to happen. No big deal. But so then my Queens season, fall season started, and we had a couple of races, and made some improvements swimming wise. Not really as much as I would say I would have liked to make. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm not a swimmer, and obviously the entire time I've been pursuing triathlon, the swim for me has been this big question mark and challenge for me, just because I only started swimming 2 or 3 years ago. So I was starting to become a little bit frustrated with that, and so that is one factor that led to this decision. But I guess the more substantial thing that happened that led to me having to decide to step away from triathlon is the injury that I found out that I have. That we found out this fall. I raced until late September, and remember having this pain in my low back, kind of felt like a stress fracture. So it wasn't really had this pain in my lower back in September, and to me felt like a stress fracture, stress reaction. I've had 7 or 8 of them, so I know that bone pain feeling. I can differentiate that from muscle pain pretty easily. And so didn't get an MRI in September. Just had the mindset of I'm gonna just not run because it bothers me to run, and I'll swim and bike, work on these 2 things that I'm relatively new at, and I'll be able to improve that way. But unlike what a stress fracture or stress reaction does when you rest it over, say, 8 to 10 weeks, this pain was not going away, and it got to December. I was still dealing with this pain and treating it like it was a stress fracture, but it had been 15 weeks at that point, and I'm like, well, let's get it imaged. I need to know what is going on. If it's a stress fracture, I'll be like, okay, that's good, we know that, but why is it not healing? And then if it's not a stress fracture, we'll figure out, okay, what is it then? And so we get the imaging. I had an MRI done on my pelvis and lower back. Why is that 2 separate MRIs? I have no idea. That has to be able to be captured in the same image. I'm sorry, those 2 things are right next to each other. Nonetheless, we got the imaging done, and basically they told me, the doctors were like, hey, you have this thing called Bertolotti syndrome. I was like, what is that? So they were like, I mean, it said it in the MRI report, you basically just have an extra bone in your L5 that's causing some discomfort, pain, bone rubbing in your sacrum area. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's where I'm having this pain. And they're like, yeah, it's treatable with PT. There's also a surgery for it. But the more I talked with doctors and what it would look like to compete this spring, whether I went the surgery route or the PT route, either one made it really difficult to see myself competing. Really, the big race that I had targeted was Collegiate Club Nationals in Gulfport, Mississippi, I think it's in March. So it was almost January at this point, and still hadn't run a step since September. And so this coupled in with my swim frustration, I'm now is this what I want to do? If it's going to still be this challenging for me to stay healthy. Running, I ran at UNC Chapel Hill, didn't go my way, got hurt, sucked, might be retired, and now I'm like, damn, it's happening again. But unlike when I left the UNC team, I feel like I'm in a way better position, better state right now, because I still have this thing that I can, go all in on and be great at athletically. Like there's no doubt in my mind that I still have phenomenal athletic ability to be able to go out and try to make a living off of. Like I know I can do that, and so for me it was just a question of like, okay, what will that be? Like, which direction do I go in? But something that I always thought of when I was doing triathlon, and people would ask me this, like they would say like, what do you think you would do if you didn't do triathlon anymore? Like, would you still swim? Would you just run? Would you just bike? The answer is no. I would not still swim. Actually, hell no. Sorry, no offense, swimming. But I always said to people, I was like, yeah, when I'm doing triathlon, I'm like, I'll probably just cycle. Like, I love cycling. It's so much fun, first of all. Like, I genuinely enjoy it. I cannot say the same thing about swimming. But cycling, like, to me, is the perfect thing for me to do. I can train as much as I want and not have to be worried about getting injured like I would in running. Like, if I were to say right now, like, oh, I want to pursue professional running, I would try, like, what that would look like for me is running like 90 to 100 miles a week. And I would be injured after, I think, day 2 of trying that. Where in cycling, I can train. I can train the doors off and push myself and reap the benefits of the training. And it's been beautiful. It's been so much fun to watch my growth because I know I have this, like, some sort of ability, some sort of gift. Like, my whole life, I've always been able to go the longest or the furthest, or any race distance. The longer it was, the better. When I was a runner in high school, the 3K was like the longest event, and I'm like, this is too short for me. Even like I didn't feel like I could be a good miler because it was just like so short for my engine, like my makeup. And then I see when I get to college, it gets to 8K for cross country, my brief college stint, but still, like, it was very apparent I was good at the 8K because it was just long. And then even years later, after retiring from not running, coming back and doing triathlon, and then saying that I wanted to do a half marathon, I go 1:10, and that is, not world-class running, but like it's pretty damn good, I would like to think. And then I just look at my cycling ability, and the longer my engine is better at the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, the longer efforts, like that's just what I can do. And so what I'm getting at is looking at cycling as the next thing I want to do. There's a couple obviously different paths to take, no pun intended. So there's road racing and crit racing. And I'll be honest, like, crit racing to me right now, I'm using this space.
That's smart. As a background.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I moved your bike. I just put my bike because it's my bike.
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't know you were gonna be home.
No, I mean, yeah, no, work. So, yeah,
it's just like I feel like I got like Jack showed up. He like didn't tell me he was coming home this early, and like I've got all of my stuff on his side. Anyways, it's just one of the space. Like, why are we picking sides, Chad? Wow, what was I saying? Yeah, back to what I was saying was that crits scare me, and it's better for sprinters. Yeah, sure, I could like try and like do breakaways and stay away, but typically it's a field sprint, and I'm not a sprinter. This we know. And then road racing, interesting to me, but like 24 years old, road racing is typically, I'm not saying it's impossible, but like typically someone who's in the U23 circuit, signed with a team, all that, yes. But the other option being gravel cycling, or gravel racing, rather. What do we know about gravel riding? Typically the longest races, 100, 200 mile races, like usually is won by the riders with great durability, repeatability, and is typically like a war of attrition who can stay in groups the longest and survive attacks. And I don't want to claim yet that I am good at that because I've never raced gravel.
I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter.
But I think my build, my makeup can do well in the Southeast Gravel Series, which is what I'm going to start racing in a couple months. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so all of that to say, that was my thought process for stepping away from triathlon, and pursuing gravel cycling. So in doing that, I decided to sell my bike. I'll get into that maybe in another video, but my triathlon bike got sold, and I was able to get a new bike, which we can take a look at right now. All right, here it is, the Trek Checkmate SLR9, fully SRAM redded out for the group set. Zip 303 Explorer SW wheels, Kogel bearings with the wheel bearings, bottom bracket, and oversized pulley wheel. Got some Silka titanium cages on there, Trek handlebar, Trek saddle for right now. Got a custom Varia mount on there that looks sweet from Jack at Bicycle Sport. The tire that I've got on there right now is the Gravel King SS in a 45. Probably fits more like a 50 on this rim. But yeah, that is the gravel setup I'll be running this season. That is the bike we are rolling with, and it has been an absolute dream to ride. So smooth, so comfortable on it. Nothing like I've ever ridden before. I've never had this nice bike before. But yeah, huge shout outs to, first of all, obviously my parents for still supporting me in my mid-20s to do something like this. I would not be able to pursue this at all if it weren't for them, but also to Bicycle Sport for helping me out to build and get all the custom parts for this build. It is better than I could have ever imagined, and I'm just so stoked to start racing soon and start showing what I can do on gravel. But yeah, so the channel is about to be revived. Be ready to see a lot more content from me. I've got a lot more ways of getting content, and so I'm gonna try to be putting videos out more consistently and just bring you guys along this new journey. So yes, subscribe if you haven't, but thank you for